A few weeks ago, we made a video explaining some of the reasons people have criticised this year's World Cup. In this, we stuck mainly to the political side of things, with us mainly focusing on the decision to award the US, Mexico and Canada the tournament in the first place, and the way that the US has acted towards fans, teams and officials when they've tried to enter the country. In this video though, we're going to look at something a little different. The president of FIFA himself, Gianni Infantino. Even prior to the tournament, his close relationship with Trump was heavily criticised. Despite Article 15 of the FIFA Code of Ethics stipulating that the organisation needs to remain impartial when it comes to politics, Infantino cozied up to Trump in the months and years leading up to the World Cup. Infantino has been a regular at the White House since Trump's re-election and attended the second Trump inauguration in January 2025, saying we should all support the president's work as it was pretty good. Then, in possibly the most egregious display of Infantino's attempts to get on Trump's good side, in December 2025, Infantino awarded Trump the inaugural FIFA Peace Prize, months after Trump's public displays of frustration about not being awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. It was later revealed that this was a unilateral decision on the part of Infantino, demonstrating just how important cultivating this relationship has been to the FIFA president. So, in this video, we're going to have a look at the decision by FIFA to rescind a red card from US national team forward Folarin Balogun, and the fallout from this decision, including 72 members of the European Parliament calling for national football associations to put pressure on FIFA to launch an ethics investigation, and a separate push to get the International Olympics Committee, or IOC, to investigate the FIFA president. This map shows all of the places Trump has launched military offensives since returning to the White House last year. How did we reach this point? In the latest issue of our magazine, we run through a timeline of Trump's military chaos around the world. That's just some of 80 pages in the magazine, because there's more in too long than you'd expect. Purchase your copy by clicking the link in the description. Now, while we're a politics and current events channel, we do unfortunately have to begin this video with a little background on this red card, as this is really where the story here begins. Essentially, in the US's first knockout match of the World Cup, the round of 32 match against Bosnia and Herzegovina, Folarin Balogun went in for an attack on Bosnian centre-back Tarik Mahamarovic. In the tackle, Balogun stepped on Mahamovic's ankle. While the referee, Rafael Klaus, didn't initially give it as a red card, the video assisted referee, or VAR system, highlighted it to Klaus, and he eventually gave a red. It's quite clear that there wasn't any intent in the challenge, and numerous sports broadcasters made the point that it probably shouldn't have resulted in a red card, given that other similar tackles in the tournament had gone unpunished. Nonetheless, the red stood. As the US went on to win the match 2-0, advancing to the round of 16 knockout match against Belgium, Balogun was to be excluded from this match. Red cards result in a one-match suspension. The thing is, Balogun was likely one of the US's top players this tournament. He won man of the match in the US's opening match against Paraguay, after scoring 2 of the US's 4 goals, and then went on to win man of the match in the US versus Australia match. US media was deeply frustrated at this perceived injustice, and a free flow campaign began. On the 5th of July, 2 days before the USA vs Belgium match, FIFA announced that it commuted the match ban to a 12-month probation, making Balogun eligible to play. They did this using Article 27 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code, which states that the judicial body may decide to fully or partially suspend the implementation of a disciplinary measure. Now, while FIFA technically has this power, it's unusual for them to use it. In total, across all World Cups, 189 red cards have been given, and yet only 2 players have had their suspensions commuted, the only other occasion being in 1962. This particular decision, as in 1962, appears to have been the result of political interference. US President Donald Trump admitted that he phoned Infantino to complain about the red card, and told journalists that he believed that Balogun hadn't committed a foul, and that it was unfair for the US not to have their best player on the pitch in their upcoming match against Belgium. While the US did go on to lose to Belgium 4-1, being knocked out of the tournament, this whole saga raised further questions about the independence of FIFA and the relationship between Trump and Infantino. As we explained in the intro, FIFA has a duty to remain impartial, and a number of groups and organisations believed that Trump and Infantino's actions had violated this. The Union of European Football Associations, or UEFA for instance, stated that the decision crossed a red line and that a minimum automatic suspension of one match following a red card is not a discretionary option, before going on to state, "We express our disbelief at such an unprecedented, incomprehensible and unjustifiable decision." More than this though, and more relevant to the type of content we usually make, this week 72 members of the European Parliament called for an investigation into Infantino. Specifically, they wrote a letter to the EU's 27 member countries and asked their national football associations to call for a FIFA Ethics Committee investigation into Infantino. On top of this, human rights group Fair Square has lodged a complaint with the International Olympics Committee, or IOC, claiming that Infantino had repeatedly breached political neutrality rules. Fair Square had actually already filed a complaint directly with FIFA in December 2025, with them citing a number of instances where Infantino expressed his public support for the actions and policies of Trump. However, according to Fair Square, FIFA has given no indication that an investigation has begun. In fact, FIFA told Fair Square that filing a complaint does not guarantee an ethics proceeding will be opened, that complainants are not party to proceedings, and that no updates on proceedings will be available due to confidentiality. This is likely why Fair Square has tried to go down the IOC route. While not involved directly in the Olympics, as the head of another influential sporting body, Infantino was invited to join the IOC in 2020, and therefore has to abide by its rules. Like FIFA, IOC members are expected to remain politically neutral, with neutrality among the core principles of Olympism. IOC President Kirsty Coventry explained on Tuesday that while they had not yet received a complaint, if and when they do, the IOC obviously would look into it. Now, we should point out that even if the IOC went as far as removing Infantino from their organisation, this would likely have little effect on his position as FIFA president. The two organisations are distinct, and the IOC has no authority over FIFA. It would, though, pile additional pressure on Infantino, and highlight that, while FIFA doesn't appear to be taking the accusations against Infantino seriously, other organisations are. So, while it's unlikely that the IOC alone will bring Infantino down, it could be the beginning of a campaign of pressure on the FIFA president. This is an incredibly nuanced story though, with plenty of outlets reporting online that Infantino told Trump that the Balogun case would be decided by an independent judicial bodies, and even now we can see that there are 379 sources reporting on it. But how can we be sure that what we're reading isn't hugely biased? Well, that's a problem we face when making these videos too, and luckily that's where this week's sponsor, Ground News, comes in. For this story in particular, most of the sources reporting come from the centre. If we dig deeper into how the story is being framed, you can quickly see the contrast in how the story is being reported across the political spectrum. Some sources on the left emphasise the links between Trump and Infantino, while some right-leaning sources shift their attention to FIFA rejecting Belgium's challenge. We're only able to get this level of deep analysis and transparency in reporting because of Ground News, who we've been partnered with since 2023. Their incredible website and app collects thousands of articles, putting them all in one easy-to-access place to help expose outlets' political bias, how reliable their reporting practices are, and who owns them, with all of their information backed by ratings from 3 independent news monitoring organisations. By now, you know how much we appreciate Ground News, and how we're such massive fans of all their features, but especially their blind spot feed. If you're not familiar though, this is where you can discover everything that's being disproportionately reported by one side or the other, whether it's a mile from your house or on the other side of the world. And that just scratches the surface of what Ground News has to offer. They're completely subscriber funded, so there's no corporate influence deciding what you see, and we partnered with them to get you the same 40% off unlimited access Vantage plan that we use. Get that by clicking the link in the description. Go to ground.news/TLDR or scan the QR code on screen, and you'll be supporting an independent news platform working to make the media landscape more transparent.